TMCnet at NextCom 2008.
Good morning. Welcome again to NextCom 2008. I'm back here with Motorola's Tom Elam to talk about NBBS this time. What is NBBS?
Sure. So NBBS is it's a software application, it's a software solution oriented at carriers who are deploying millions of devices, right? So it's essentially in the product space of device management. And if you think about the challenges of deploying cable modems or set-top boxes or almost any type of carrier supplied consumer electronics, NBBS is all about making that fast, efficient, and easy for both the consumer and the service provider.
Fast and easy. Yeah. I guess that's really what it's about.
Well, if you think about historically, if you wanted to order DSL or cable, the service provider actually had to drive the truck over to your home and hook it up and do a bunch of diagnostics. Well, that's not the case anymore. They ship it to you, you plug it into your LAN, and it just magically works. Well, the magic is actually NBBS. NBBS is the system that the device has got a basic configuration. It speaks to NBBS in the network. NBBS then can basically load the configuration that's necessary into that device, push new firmware into that device, do localized diagnostics. All of this is done in a fully automated fashion, which allows the carrier to more quickly deploy, allows the consumer to be on net more frequently, and it just makes the whole deployment scenarios easier. Same thing is true of, you look at like IPTV, right? The state of the art today with IPTV is typically it still requires a truck roll. What we're working on is actually eliminating that truck roll with NBBS and device management.
Excellent. Now, what role do newer technologies, femtocells,
sure.
even WiMAX
sure.
potentially play a role?
Yeah, absolutely. As we look at, device management is a category that's been around for some time. The starting point was what I just talked about, was we need to be able to deploy a device, right? And that was the starting point. As we've looked at the evolution, it's moved in two different directions. One direction has been, well, we want to do more than deploy. We want to monitor. If we have issues, we want to be able to resolve those issues in the field, all ideally automatically, or at least without rolling a truck. Mm-hmm. The other level to look at is what are the services that the carrier is trying to deploy, right? So the starting point was broadband internet access, which was great, but what about VoIP? What about Wi-Fi? What about femtocells, right? If you think about a femtocell, it's a 3G radio station installed in your home. You don't really want to send a crew of 12 and spend a day to get that thing running. You want to fully automate it. So that's we basically can fully automate the installation of a 3G radio, a femtocell, using NBBS. So moving up both in terms of the value and support of the service layer, as well as the set of things that we can do around managing the devices.
Are you seeing real interest from carriers in NBBS?
Oh, absolutely. We've had. We've got a number of great wins, and we've had a lot of new traction with accounts that have been looking at, they've either had a home-built basic solution, and they're looking at things like femtocells, or they're looking at new services like voice over IP, and that solution, their existing solution just isn't adequate, and NBBS can come in and allow that carrier to rapidly deploy that new service, and it's all about the cost management and the fast introduction of the services, and NBBS enables that. So yeah, we're getting just fantastic interest and traction with the product.
And as these technologies keep changing and new products, services, are introduced, NBBS is going to evolve with those?
Yeah, there's a couple different things that go on, right? There's what is the carrier doing, what is services, what are the capabilities that they want to deploy. The other thing that we have to look at is what's the nature of the home network, right? It's gone from being a PC and a modem to being a LAN and wireless and set-top boxes and all of that, so managing that. The other piece that we have to be closely dovetailed in with is the standard side, right? So as we work with devices, we're Motorola, right? But we cannot tell to our carrier customers that we only manage Motorola devices. We've got to manage whatever they've got. So there's a big role for the standards in here and having standards-based device management. Protocols like SNMP, TR69, OMA, or OMADM, and others are all supported by the product, so we can manage whatever the carrier wants to deploy from whichever vendor.
Is standards compliance really one of the keys?
Yeah, it is. It's absolutely necessary, and this is the carrier space predominantly, right? So the carrier doesn't want to be locked into any one device manufacturer. They don't want to be limited by the feature set or proprietary approaches. Proprietary is classically costly, right? So by having that standards-based approach, the carrier can choose the best devices for their particular application, and MBBS is a key element of a standards-driven strategy.
Anything on the horizon new in terms of MBBS?
Yeah, there's a couple of fun things. So MBBS really started in the DSL domain, right? So that's where we started as a product, and we've been getting very aggressive both in the WiMAX space as well as in the cable space, and so growing the product to being Motorola's flagship device management in those categories. And then there's all kinds of fun things on the horizon. LTE is one of the things that I'm sure you're talking about at the show, and next generation radio environments, so supporting that. The femtocells that you already mentioned, that's probably one of the hottest areas for the carriers today of next generation radio technology.
Fantastic. Sounds very exciting. Look forward to hearing more.
Yeah.
We've been chatting once again with Motorola's Tom Elam. Tom, thanks again.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Thanks.